High school, my parents asked me what I wanted to do for a living, and I said I wanted to race off-road trucks, and they laughed. This is always what I wanted to do. Oh my God. How's it going, guys?
Hey, what's your name?
My name is Frank Taylor, aka Illinois Valley Leasing.
Yeah, there we go. I think this has been a desired vehicle to see. It's been around for a while.
10 years this year.
And they call it the family huckster. When I first discovered this truck, it was on Instagram and you were at your dunes and it was a leaf spring and it was doing things that I've never seen a leaf spring truck do before. Oh my God! How did you get to this and what made you buy a GMT 900?
One, I'm a fan of white. Two, I was new to the game, and back then Chris Missoula was building quote-unquote kits.
Yep.
He was kind of the hot ticket. You guys know Gary 454, another friend of mine. This was sitting at his shop.
What stage was it in?
Bed caged with Devers. It had the front on it with a 2025 at the time.
Okay.
Something
so 2-inch coil over?
Yeah.
Okay.
Me and my son flew out, met a guy named John Parker. We drove it home. Off-roaded it in Utah, had some fun with it. Brought it back here, dialed it all up, painted the fiberglass, put some lights on it, and just came out here and started having fun with it.
When you did the big send in it, the leaf spring sends, right, like we were talking about, what stage was it in there?
That was coming back from California. It still just had the Missoula bolt on.
Okay.
It looked prettier, but it was still the same basic.
Okay, copy.
Didn't even know I had to rebuild the shocks and put nitrogen in them and all that good stuff. We learned a lot along the way.
And was there a cage in it?
No cage.
Okay.
This truck didn't get a cage till the second go around.
Because I think it was that high off the ground.
It bent the shit out of the Usually you'd come to the dunes and then go back with Ryan Langer to the frame shop.
Yeah, I copied that. I think he's done that several times. You guys, Ryan Langer's here too.
Hey, what's happening?
So Ryan, you come over too. At what point do you go, hey, we're gonna fully build this thing? Because I remember watching build process of it where it had, because the back half is beautiful, all the plate and stuff. So when did that go down? Was that the first stage?
So round one was, I want a tow camper. I want a Detroit locker.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
I was more of an overlander. I think. It was a mistake.
So we did. Well, in HUCKSTER they had a leaf spring class.
Yep.
And he wanted to go to in 14. He wanted to go do that. So we did a leaf spring back half on it. The basic cage that was in it. Beat the beans out of it. Bent the axle and bent everything. And
I think the axle got. Even every other weekend, the axle came out and got straightened too and replayed.
At the end, there's actually 3 pieces of 1/8-inch chromoly big truss underneath it.
Copy.
In high school, my parents asked me what I wanted to do for a living, and I don't know. I lived in Illinois, and I said I wanted to race off-road trucks, and they laughed and sent me to trade school. So this is always what I wanted to do.
This is my life.
I mean, we can talk about the back half here, like Ryan. Even if you want to talk about this, what made you do all this plate work? Was this a Frank request, or was this that you had an open canvas kind of thing going on here?
A little bit of open canvas, just something different.
Yeah.
But functional. You got toolboxes, you got the jacks.
Yeah, and
tires.
Does the plate work start like at the bump zone and go back, or does it go into the front too?
Nope, it's basically just these sides.
Okay.
And then tubes tying it all together. Try to make it easy to manufacture when you can laser cut it all.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to do much measuring and slip.
Yeah, everything kind of fits in indexes.
Jigsaw puzzle.
Did you do the original cage? Okay, so you're the psychopath that did all the stuff with the sheet metal and all. Okay. But awesome.
Factory Premium Plus.
Dude, on the highest tier. That's a platinum. So you can see the B-pillar here, and I know the outside light does like a weird saturation, but you can kind of see the B-pillars at like almost a typical style now. And the A-pillars, I mean, it was not just like the A-pillars and the upper pillars, it was like all the factory sheet metal was drilled out, like the spot welds. And then, these things are kind of clamshelled together. They have like this outer portion that's extruded, and then they have an inner portion that's extruded, and then you drilled it out, ran the cage, and tucked it so tight that the panels went on.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
That was incredible. Whose idea was that?
Mine.
Jeez,
look like stock.
I wanted stock. I don't like the Fiberworks dashes. I don't like the weird consoles. Yeah. So his thing from day one is, and I'm a stock steering wheel guy. I can't stand all these other steering wheels. I wanted it to look like a stock truck, except for the seats.
The cage was painted two-tone.
Yeah, it was two-tone painted to match
the interior.
Yeah.
At that time.
And that was so incredible. I just remember seeing that, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe the time and the labor. Like, I've never seen a truck with the panels go back in. You know, that's absolutely incredible. So you had the cage like that, right? And then you went to Barstow.
Yeah.
No, hold back up.
Okay.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Oh,
There's been a few
It had the sunroof, and then he rolled it down the backside of Test Hill.
Okay.
And we put a right side and a roof on it and got rid of the sunroof.
okay.
And then he went to Barstow.
Then I went to Barstow.
Barstow was, and there might be a clip of that.
Wife and daughter's in it. My wife still can't see right out of her left eye. That was a little bit of a catastrophic issue at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, we all walked away from it. Everything did its job. There again, the community was great.
Yeah.
Austin offered to take the truck and store it for me.
Yeah.
I didn't even look at the truck for 3 months.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. It was a turning point. I can remember sitting in a hotel. My daughter flew home, and I was laying there bawling. And my wife, with her eye hanging out, turns over to me and goes, "It's fine. We'll get the truck fixed in no time."
Oh my gosh.
Didn't even talk about her eye. She's
Yeah.
more worried about getting the truck redone.
Yeah.
So that's another big issue of why this truck is where it's at and why I get to do what I do, because my wife and family support this 100%.
That's so huge, dude.
So, and if you guys don't notice, I have slowed down. I promised her I'd never hurt her again. in the
Yeah.
truck,
So you just drag me along?
that's why Ryan goes on.
Did you always have 4 seats like this?
Actually, it was a back bench.
Okay.
But this
and these
whole-
are all PRP podiums?
Yep. Plus 2 in the front, and then my daughters are skinnier, so they get the stock ones.
Yeah.
These are pretty much the original front seats. I've just kept changing out. I've changed
covers.
seat colors.
The covers.
tape covers.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't know you can do that, they'll make new covers for you, PRP. You can
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
give them an overhaul, update the look.
This was a sport that if my family wasn't into it, I wasn't going to do it. So
100%. Yeah, and that's how I think all of us would roll like that. Like, that's kind of a thing, you know? You can't just ride solo on a lot of this stuff.
I've drove this truck once by myself.
Yeah.
You want to be with your friends or your family or whoever you
Sure.
want to take on the trip.
Do you have any upgrades that you're going to do to this thing?
I'm actually at a point now where I'd like to just put a rear air conditioner, figure out how to AC the seats,
Yeah.
AC seats.
and we'll freshen up the interior a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of the point now where it's just maintenance finally.
Sure.
I think the ring and pinions now lasted 2 years.
Yeah.
We're up here before, it was every 4 trips you were changing on ring and pinion.
Sometimes every weekend.
Yeah, sometimes every weekend.
Yeah. And when did the housing go in? This one. Because this is now, is this a heat treated one?
Yep.
Okay.
This is the first one we did.
Yeah.
And we just copied the geometry off his previous housing.
Sure.
You know, and tidied a few things up, like the brake line and sway bar straps, made those look like one piece, and
Yep.
just added that complicated simplicity.
Yeah, exactly. And then the trailing arms are yours too?
Yep. But these trailing arms are really light. They're only 35 pounds or something a
Yeah.
piece.
The protective flap or something, what is that? Is that to protect the rod end?
The bolt,
Oh, the bolt.
the rod in that whole assembly area.
Yeah.
Normally the flap's big.
Oh, it's like almost a square with a notch
around
in
it. Yeah.
Gotcha. I love this color.
Like
That is-
battleship gray.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like a primer that's not a primer. Frank, do you have fuel pump issues or anything?
It needs a fuel pump
Yeah.
every year and a half, say.
And you don't have a redundant, like, 1 second on there or
No,
anything?
it's right there. It's easy to change. I always carry a spare.
Yeah.
And even like a lot of the guys that Ryan's trucks he's built, they
Yeah.
run the same pump. So like we were in Oklahoma last year, a guy broke down. I had the pump in my console.
Is that just a Bosch?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a 044.
Yeah, copy that.
And then
And-
consequently, I just ate a pump in Oklahoma this year. So.
I see on the upper links there's adjustable holes there. Like, is that by design or is that
Yeah,
just
that's to be able to adjust the anti-squat
Yeah,
and different characteristics which we've never adjusted.
yeah. I see that a lot, like, because I think people get it from short course too. And I know, like, Robbie Woods will do that stuff, and I'm always like, do you ever do the adjustment though? Like, is it there or is it a
We
thing?
were too busy in the early days replacing the rear end gears to
Yeah.
make adjustments to the suspension geometry. It'd be fun to try, but you build one different trucks and
Yeah,
they have like little bit different behaviors, and you don't get the opportunity to put all the details together exactly why.
totally. Frank, is this a tank in here and not a cell?
Yeah, it's a tank.
Okay.
So it had I think a Harman cell that was
Yeah.
in the original truck that we built it around. And when you're just thrashing Mexico, there's just not. It was only 35 or 38 gallons, and it's just not enough capacity.
Yeah,
So we just built the tank to fit all the area.
sure. Who does the welding on the tanks?
Martin.
That's Martin?
Yep.
And he's the one that did Ryan Lister's too?
Yeah.
Dude, he's an excellent welder.
He's killer. He does a great
He's top
job.
notch.
There's guys who can weld aluminum really good.
Yeah.
And there's guys who can weld steel really good. He can do it all really well.
I mean, just it's tight and it's hot and it's, you know, like those are good stacks.
And I think when you really walk around this truck, you realize underneath, like it's not painted up for cars and coffee.
So what is this thing, Frank?
This is a Crate LSX 454 with a Holly high rim.
And you've been running that same Crate 454 LSX for a while, right? That's kind of your grind?
Yep, it's my grind. It's easy to work on. I have chewed one up. You can just call GM. I can have in 2 days. There's 625 horsepower. It's a no-brainer.
Yep, absolutely. Super reliable, and you're just on pump gas or PMX.
Yep.
For engine management, what are you running on this? Holly. Okay. Does the dash have a Holly in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember this was pretty tied in here. I don't know if it's still as tied in as it was, you know, since the rebuild.
No,
but it definitely still has those side caps. And then door bar. Yeah, it's tied in on the sides too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this has just been your same thing forever, right? Everything's
pretty
tidy.
much, yeah.
So Switch Pro for auxiliary stuff.
We just got the wiring redone this winter. It was time.
Okay. Now, when you say the wiring redone, did you go to like a mil spec harness or?
Kind of a hybrid because, you know, at some point you got to quit spending money on these things.
Yeah, wiring's one of those things you want to do right, and then you don't have those problems, because when you have the mystery problems where you just don't know, something cuts in and out and it's doing it intermittently, that's tricky.
I've been down that road.
This is an original overflow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got something factory over there too. What kind of factory?
Washer fluid.
Washer fluid.
Copy that. Yeah, it's just simple. The platinum.
These are all factory Escalade fans. They pull a little better than
Yeah, enhanced cooling is what they're called.
And you can pick them up at, you know, so if you burn up a fan and you're in Mexico, you go to AutoZone, you can still get a truck fan and get by for the trip.
Totally.
Power steering pumps, alternators, all that stuff I can basically get one somewhere
Yeah.
when I need to at any time.
How many skid plates have you gone through?
I think the count's 8. I think it's had eight bumpers on it.
Yeah, generally it was the whole bumper.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is I think this is still the one when Wilkie was out here and we finished this bumper because the power was out.
Yes.
And
This
did
is
the
that
engine
bumper.
swap. So this
Yeah.
bumper's made it since
Okay.
for a few years now.
Yeah, and
Skid
that's
plate
all.
got worked over a little bit this weekend.
That's all quarter, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're the master of this here, of taking skid plates. You know, do you keep them?
No.
They might be cupping on somebody else's truck.
I'm not a saver. I'm
Yeah,
not
copy that.
So
Not at all.
It's an awesome truck, Frank.
thank you.
I'm stoked that we finally got you to do this.
Yeah.
Stoked to be out here at your house, and you know, I just appreciate the whole lifestyle you guys have. I remember some of this work in here. Looks like that has that upper arm mount ripped off before. That big weave weld on it.
I don't think so.
No, that was early dudes before Martin was around, and then when I think it was out west with Kibby, they
Went through it a little bit.
gave her the grind and bedazzle.
Copy. Well, I think it's time we go rip this thing.
Let's go have some fun.
Yep. Thank you guys both. Ryan, another awesome truck. I really respect what you've done for everybody out here. All right, you guys. Well, I hope you enjoy that. Like, comment, subscribe.